going like just with puppies, I use the tool belts, the nail belts, because they're easy to pop in and out.
Yeah. Christy, what about you? Do you have any suggestions? What do you use? Have you done a puppy recently?
No, not recently. And when Hodar was a puppy, I didn't have the positive trainer that I did. His service dog trainer was very much a negative reinforcement. So she had him on a prong and was dragging him, and she was very cruel. So we found other trainers after that. So
Christy got me hooked on absolute dogs.
I like them.
But,
So do I. They've made all the difference in the world with Nick. I mean, but it's got to be consistent. But they've gotten me through. I mean, all their badges are wonderful.
yeah. So, but what I ended up switching to after I got well, I found a trainer up here and a couple trainers up here other than the service dog trainer. They were just regular trainers, but awesome. They got me on like I forgot what it was. It's similar to God, the word's not coming out. The one that goes over the mouth and collar, but it comes up and
The halty or
like,
the gentle lead?
no, it's gentle lead.
It's got the lead off the back.
Yeah, the ring's on the back, and I'm a bridge. No,
Old Leads Designs has one. I forgot what it's called.
it's a UK one. It's something from the UK.
Is it the mutt or black dog or something?
No,
Cranny
I-
collar? The cranny
A
collar?
canny collar.
no, it's similar to the candy collar though. It is similar to that, but it's I don't know. But they first had me try that one, and then they that was still a struggle a bit. But what I ended up going with was just the regular. I know you can come here and smell it. Yes, I know. That was your old one, huh, Luna? Luna's using his old one now. So this was just what I originally used, and I used this. And then after a while, then once he got bigger, I used it under his like service dog, like just a red service dog best thing, but I remarked it with like in training patches. It was one that the bad service dog trainer had sold me of hers, an old one, but currently what I used, although we don't go out, was I used I know, he wants to smell. He's like, oh, are we going for a walk? And
He's much better than he was.
I know he's gonna say hello, but yes, I know. Yeah, but we're in the bedroom. That's what makes the difference right now. So, but this is, oh God, what is this one?
You use a harness with him?
Yeah, this is
that
the
pet?
this is the Dean and Tailor harness, but I use this underneath it. I like it better. Oh, it's the balance harness.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
The
That's similar to the Pet Safe one, isn't it, Patty?
balance.
It is a similar design. Balance harness, I think, is a better fit.
Yeah, this
For
is
a hard puller is better.
huh?
I say the balance harness, I think, is a better fit. And if you got a hard puller, it's better. I just use so many harnesses that they're too expensive for me. If somebody really needs a good harness, balance harness is great. But if you're on a budget,
Yeah,
go with it.
I really love it. I do love this one. So I do use this as his like walking everything training. This is his everything. You know, he wears this for his, when we go for even his rally obedience. This is, oh wait, no, he doesn't do this for rally obedience. I'm sorry. He wears a buckle collar for that. Or martingale, I think. But then I have the Dean and Tailor, just the service dog. I still do service dog in training, and it's got the front and back collar, but I still use the other one underneath it, just because I think it's more supportive, you know. Then I keep that one on him, and then I take this on and off. I don't keep this on in the car and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then I use a waist belt leash, you know, and then I attach it to the back, either the front or the back part of the leash or the harness. And then I have another smaller two hook one that I'll hook to one of the other hooks on the waist leash, and then the other hook. So he does have a hook on both the front and the back.
Are you walking him from a wheelchair or upright or both?
It varies. It'll
Okay.
be, yeah, it varies. It can be walking. It can be walking, you know, with the walker or with the smart crutch or with my, you know, someone pushing me in the manual wheelchair. If I'm in the power wheelchair, I've not done that in public access with him. I've only done that around the neighborhood. And I have it longer, you know, the leash long for that. And I think I don't think I put a service dog in trade. Sometimes I do if I'm going to go in the office, you know. And then we used to do training in the clubhouse. And I would do training in the clubhouse and stuff. Then I think I did his orange one. But I've been bad and I've not been doing that, and I'm getting there.
Okay.
Times when it's hard to do training for all of us, I think. You know,
John,
I
I'm going to skip down to Ashlyn for a minute because she just typed in her message and, oh, there's Penny. You moved. So Ashlyn said she uses a back clip when they are little bitty puppies, and Freedom no pull harness with dogs in training. She says, I'm looking into getting the bid everyday Boldly Designs everyday working harness for my next dog when big enough. I only vest when I need to for other people, like if we go out of town. I'm hopefully getting a puppy in June. I like that attitude of only vesting for other people. That's kind of how I like to think of leashes when the dog is trained. So should we go? Hi, John. I don't think we've met online in person. We've interacted in groups, but I'm Cindy, and I think you're on the spot.
Is his mic on?
He said he's connecting to audio.
While he's connected, let me show you all this. I got my handle. Can you see it?
Mhm.
Where the
Yeah.
handle that goes on here, and this is that 3-in-1. And look at these cool patches I took off an old harness and just velcroed them on.
Oh,
That's
When
pretty nice.
we talk about she's talking about doing naked, I do. My dogs are all off leash on everything, but we go out in public from like the day one, so we
Yeah.
have to have a harness, and that's what I put the pet safe on for, and it's on the back, and we don't touch the collar until we're working on loose leash only.
yeah. If I get a puppy again, it's gonna be a harness. Harness.
Hey, John.
Hey, John. One of these days, I'm going to meet you in person now that we're in the same town.
Yep.
I think you're up next. You're in the hot seat.
Okay. Well,
You're
hi,
surrounded by all
everybody.
these beautiful women.
Definitely. For court, I now have him a Boldly Designs everyday working harness with the little Velcro spot on the back of it that says service dog. And that's what I walk him in with the front hook leash. The leash is a 9-footer for me. I'm 6'8", so a 7-foot didn't fit over the shoulder. And I like the usage of a front hook harness because I can turn him in a circle rather than creating a tug of war.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's better for all of us, for both of us anyway. Haven't been doing much lately. I've been so busy with school, but I'll plan on picking up and doing some more things now that I'm out of school for a while. And one of the things I prefer to do is to teach walking, heeling, etc. off leash, and then add the leash after he knows what to do.
I like that approach when it's feasible.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
you have to have a safe
not
location.
always. Yeah. I don't live in a situation that allows that at this
Well,
point.
when I get a new puppy, Court's my crossover dog, and Karen and Bob Deeds turned me on to forestry training a few years back, and so I've been firmly in that camp since. But when I get another puppy eventually, probably in about 2 or 3 years, I'll be starting off indoors.
Yeah.
Just the puppy
Well,
and me.
that's what I did with Nick. I started off indoors, and then we went in I had a backyard for a while. We did it in the backyard. But a lot of times if we went someplace, I'd just carry him, because when he was little, he was little.
Hey, John, do you know
Yes.
that we have a service dog field out in Chino that you can use if you get in touch with Andy for,
Oh, okay.
like, it's a fence area that you can train in without a leash.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I've got a
campus
big
has
backyard
a
I can
service
do it
dog
in
training
right now
program.
too. Go ahead.
I'll hook you up with her contact info. You can talk to
Oh,
her.
Andy Lloyd?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've talked to her.
yeah, there's a whole thing out there at the Chino campus.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's got a fenced area where you can work off leash, and she's got equipment and stuff out there too, which is kind of cool. Ow.
Yeah, that would be. That's nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Penny, our fearless leader is here. Finally, we had Donna here earlier. I don't know. I think Donna left.
I saw Donna on, but I didn't get to hear what she said.
That was cool.
No, just got back from a 4-day trip, just a little bit before the Zoom started, and I had to deal with husband and dogs and whatnot before I could join in. So, I have Azul's gear sitting here. I can show you what he's currently using. First, let me back up to start from puppy age. And I do the same thing. I actually take a harness with me when I'm going to get the puppy. And the harness goes on before they ever go out to my car. And I mean, I'm of course pairing it with good treats and whatever. But that way, if I'm trying to decide between a couple of different puppies, I'm going to typically choose the one that is quickest to accept the harness, so that I can get it on easily without forcing it on. I can pair it with them. So I start out with a harness on day one, and I don't use a collar until they're much older. And of course, always on the back clip. And then when they get to be around 4 to 5 months old and they're starting to explore a little bit more and not be so focused on me, that's when I start training the front clip before they actually start pulling. That's usually when I add a harness that has a front clip. I gotta see if I can turn my background off here real quick, because with it on, you can't see any of my gear. I don't know how to do it on my phone. If I can do it on my phone.
If you click on the screen, it should pop up on the side or on the top. And then you'll be able to see like switch the screen and all the other buttons.
Now I can switch it around to the back, but you still, you can kind of see the harness. So Azul's current harness is just a cheap one. When I started with the Pet Safe 3-in-1, because that was the best one that fit him at the time. And now I still do use that, but this is just a cheap, like now that he's pretty much settled out in size, this was actually a $5 harness. That's why I say cheap. It was an amazing deal, and it was something different. So it had a little bit of a different feel than the one he was used to, which helped at a time where he was really, really pulling more than normal because of his adolescent stage. So just changing the feeling a little bit helped remind him to, focus a little bit more when he was wearing it. And so then on every harness I have, I always add a pull strap or short leash. So this is the one I have on there. It matches my leash. So it's just paracord and has the dual clips. And so all of Azul's harnesses have a short strap on it all the time, so that I can pick
Similar to what I use, Penny.
What?
That's similar to that strap I use.
Right, it is. It's very similar. It's just homemade. So the other really cool thing that I love is the homemade leeches that I make. And so I'm going to try to put this on the chair to see if I can get it up so that you guys can actually see it.
Oh, that's nice.
My
Really
old
cool.
shoulder leash. My background picture keeps popping in. So
Yeah, I
basically,
have one of these too. I love it.
Do you have one that you can show, Rhea?
It's
What?
out in the living room, but I love it.
oh yeah. Oh, hold on, I'm trying to unattach. So basically my leash, it's my design because I couldn't find an over the shoulder strap that I liked. So I have a shoulder strap on a carabiner, and this particular one is a heavy duty carabiner because this is wintertime, my wintertime leash, when things are a little bit more slippery out and as well might be a little bit more prone to pulling. So I use the same shoulder strap on a longer line when we're out on exercise walks, and then the same shoulder strap for when we're out working in public. When we are working in public, instead of a longer line, it's got this, it's not quite 2 foot, so a little bit longer than a typical traffic lead, but this allows Azul to stand at my side with the happy smile of the leash, or lay down on the ground right beside me as well without the leash being too tight. So that makes it really, really nice to have that ability. And then if I do want to give him permission to go say hi, or if we're going to go out on a sniff about or something to that nature, I can unclip the carabiner and automatically have it's about 7 foot long when I unclip it.
Mhm.
And those I do like all customized based on your height, your dog's height kind of thing. So for mine, it's about 7 foot. Another one that I made was only about 6 foot because it was a shorter person and things like that. So that kind of varies the final length if you undo it all. So, and then just because I found cheap harnesses, this is Azul's current working harness, and it really is just a cheap one because this was another one of those $5 things that I found. And he actually has a really nice tactical harness too, but I very rarely use a working harness that's labeled and has patches on it. Like it was mentioned earlier, I only label my dog when I'm going out of town, when I'm doing something to that effect. Switch this back
It
around.
does make traveling easier.
But so this is just almost like his exercise harness. It was just a cheaper one. It's got this kind of right here, which pulls up for a little handle if you want it. This doesn't stay tight on him, but I liked this one because it's a little bit longer without a heavy tactical harness. When it's longer, Azul overheats in. So this is very, very minor as far as he doesn't overheat in it, which is why I've been using this one lately when I need to label him. And then this has a short loop for the handle just because I wanted to test it out. And I think I actually like this better than the handle with 2 clips. But both of my handles are customized size for my dog so that they work perfect for me for the forward momentum tasks that I need. So that kind of cheap harness, like Azul doesn't, I never attach anything to that harness because when we're working in PA, switch my camera back around, or in even pet friendly stores, whenever we're indoors somewhere, his leash is clipped to his collar because he's got perfect manners there. He's not pulling, he's not distracted, trying to smell, anything like that. So then it's always clipped to just either I have a leather, nice fancy buckle clip, leather collar that has service printed on it and Azul's name. And then I also use just cheap plastic snap buckle collars. So he always has a collar on when he steps out the door, even if he's just on our porch that is fenced in, so that he has some kind of identification on him at all times. But when he's home, he is typically naked most of the time. That's his favorite way to be dressed. He
I
would
think
work
that's
that
what
way
Nick-
if he could, but I won't let him. So
That's what Nick would prefer, but he's got his 5 collar he's got to wear.
Yeah, I did forget to say one thing. If we're just in town, I will put a leash wrap on just because it's an easy way to identify them without, Arizona gets really hot.
Yeah.
So I'm not putting something extra on my dog and there's something on the leash. Just
I
for
love
people.
the leash wrap if I'm going someplace where I don't characteristically go. You know, like usually if I'm going to a gas station, I'm paying at the pump. So I don't usually want to take Azul in there. So if
Right.
we've been on a walk and then I need to use the restroom at a gas station or something, so I am going to run in there. And not that I've ever had a challenge issue locally here, because we just don't in my small rural town, but gas stations tend to be one of those with access issues with a dog. So
Yeah.
I will grab my leash wrap and slide it on for something like that and then take it back off later.
I had issues at an AKC show because I didn't have Nick labeled, even though he had his collar with his tags on, and one of the tags he had on was his service dog license that says he's a service dog. And I said, well, technically you can't ask for it, but he is labeled because he has his license on. But so this lady was really giving me grief. So now when I go to a show, I don't know if you guys can see these. This is one of the Boldly Designs hang tag clips or hang tag leash things. I've just clipped that on my over the shoulder leash because I've got one of the Atlas leashes. So I just clip it on that and I use that when I'm walking around with the gentle leader so that I'm not giving grief because he's just that much. There's a lot going on at a dog show and there's a lot of dogs and they're not always nice. And this way if anybody's questioning why he's in a gentle leader, I don't have to argue with them.
And
And
I
then,
get tired of having to argue with people. It's just not worth it sometimes.
no, it's not, but I'm not going to get disqualified from a show because I'm following ADA law, and I'm not going to be discriminated against because I'm following ADA law when they have to comply with it. Thank you.
That the boldly designed tape, by the way, fits that pet safe 3-in-1. You don't need you need the belly strap, but not the other part that you order with it extra, and it just velcros right on the back of the little strip that goes around the black. It fits it perfect.
Which,
So I throw that on.
which patch?
Just a second, I'll show you.
Okay. And then the other thing we have, and we're getting a new one because his neck is too big with all his cords now, is a Poodle Collar. I don't know if you guys can see it. And it's a satin collar, and it just says service dog, do not disturb or distract. And if I'm going someplace and I just want to, I can either throw it on without a collar underneath it and just use a gentle leader, or I can put a collar through it and use the collar as what I'm going to attach to him, attach him to me with. And so, you know, it's light, it gets hot here, it's routinely over. We're in the 90s this month, next month we'll be in the hundreds. So
It's like us, yeah.
yeah.
Here's Court's everyday working harness.
Oh, I have a bunch of those too.
Yeah, this is the back clip where it would be. The one
Yeah,
thing
I have
that to be careful is with it does have to go over the head, and so you got to get the dog used to it. Court got excited just now just seeing it.
Is that your everyday work harness you just got?
Yes.
Well, you can get neck buckles on it now.
Yeah, you can get
Okay.
Mine
I'm
came,
sending mine
Court's
back
fine.
in.
I get it out, and he wants to stick his head in. I just tell him get dressed.
Well, the reason I want them on there is I can't get it up. If I adjust it high enough to have this in the right off her shoulders, her head doesn't fit through it.
well, that's my problem with Nick. I can't put, I don't know if, here, let me, just a second.
One problem I don't have with this is the chest plate keeps bunching up. when I
Yours
put
is
it on.
different than mine.
This was after they put it into production, Patty.
It
Right
what?
after they put it out.
I think that looks different than mine. I think
This,
mine.
this is the belly strap.
Ooh.
2 of them.
Yeah.
But you can see how it bunched up right here. Just
Mine
in hand.
doesn't do that.
I'm trying to get mine.
I'm
So I
thinking about
can,
taking it and getting it sewn to
What kind
the,
You have a liner in yours. Did you order it with the smooth liner?
no. It's
Okay,
rough
that's probably
leather.
why it's doing it. I ordered mine with, well, that's what she sent me because that's what I wanted. But are we going to be here on a minute or I can go get it out of the car?
yeah, go get it.
Let me go get it.
Okay,
But
so
yeah, I'm thinking about just having it stitched at a saddle shop or leather shop right here so it doesn't bunch up quite as much.
well, I can't get mine to bend. I think I need to spend some time working on mine. I have mine lined with the leather, so it won't cause his cords to get messed up. And I got neck straps or neck buckles.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
because I have the
In the
same
future, I
issue.
would, because it does save a lot of grief on some dogs.
So, oh, are you gonna come see me? Here. So when if I tried to put it over his head, it's not gonna fit over his head very well because he's got big corded ears. So
Mhm.
having the neck strap, oh, you're a good boy. You're a good
Yeah, I
boy.
don't recall that being an option when I got cords.
It may not have been because Patty didn't know about it, and I got mine last August.
Oh, mine's
I
on,
think it
cords
was
is
a
on
fairly-
older.
Yeah, I think it was a
right after
fairly
when
new
it was
option.
production.
Guys, I'm losing my battery. I gotta get, but I will see
Okay,
you
nice seeing you, Rhea.
later.
Take
You too.
care.
Good night.
I also customized mine. I'm gonna redo these though, but I put I don't know if you can see those. I put custom pull straps on it.
Yeah.
They have that same
Not working. There it is.
tag that you had that you pulled off.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the
here's
same one.
mine.
But you got an additional one. Is that just
Anybody else have have an everyday working harness that they want to show off?
Mine does not bunch up, but yours looks thinner than mine, and I think it's
Oh.
because you don't have this lining.
What
I've
kind
got
of lining do you have?
the smooth leather lining.
Okay,
yours
that's
is
what
much
I've got.
bigger?
Pardon me?
Yours is much bigger. That chest plate is much bigger than.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
Horses.
bigger plate. It's also lined, and it doesn't bunch up. We're going to send it back and get neck buckles because they didn't even have those when I got them. And this piece, I have the other one too, where I can do the small piece that doesn't have the label on it.
Mhm.
I didn't buy both of them. Mine came with both of them, but I think you have to pay extra one. But I like this a lot better than yours, John, because it doesn't bunch up. And I wonder if you could send it back and get it lined.
I'll ask them about it because
Yeah.
I'm planning on ordering one for Chewy, my Ridgeback. Also,
Yeah, call them. They are so good. You can get him on the phone and he'll tell you everything. My thing came loose and he sent me some screws to fix it. And this is the cape I got.
I love those capes.
See it, but it is real light and that's just Pet's thing. It fits on my bow lead design, not this one, but it does on her basic assist harness. But I like this the best for him because we just throw it on or take it off. You know, we can go from exercise to that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I usually don't run with my cape on, but I have one. I used it when he was in training. But they're nice to have it because, like, when we go to the fairs and stuff, I'll put the cape on, and then people can't touch his cords in the back.
Oh yeah,
behind the
that's
harness.
I love these. I don't know if you can see them very well. They're on Amazon. They're not expensive, but they're
Are they
really
leashes?
nice looking, embroidered, soft cotton, kind of nylon cotton collars. And his says training and hers says service dog.
Are they leashes or collars?
They're collars. And I
Okay.
just throw this on. Sometimes I just throw this training collar on with his harness. And Rainy, when I'm using the Pet Safe harness with just a handle, I'll throw this on her. But I'm kind of like Petey. Half the time we don't put nothing on her. But Bart likes me too because he says it helps people in public. It helps the police. And it helps a lot of people where they don't have to ask you.
Yeah, I
well, I
usually
also think about
kind
first
of live
responders.
near me. Well, Azul has service dog printed on his ID tag that's on his normal collar.
Well,
But
Nick,
in
I-
most of the places we go, everybody recognizes us already. So
But they
That's
do
why-
us here. But
yeah, and I'm starting to get that they do recognize us because I went someplace without Nick the other day, and because he had surgery, and everybody's like, "Where's your dog? Where's your dog?" So I know that people are, because he's kind of got a unique look. But you know, Patty, I put Nick's medium harness on Poe.
what?
I was able to adjust it that much.
To Poe. How old is Poe?
Poe's 120 pounds.
I was sure say he isn't grown. Jay's
Yes.
65 and he could probably still wear it, but it's uncomfortable, you know, getting tight. And I already had the large, and the large fitting with lots of room in them, so I can take them up and everything. But
Yeah, but I was able to get the medium. I was able to get the medium on Poe.
oh no, you're talking about the rough wear. You talking about
Yeah,
rough wear?
no, I'm talking
Oh, yeah.
about this. I'm talking about the boldly
Oh,
designed.
It's a medium.
This is a medium, and I was able to get it up on Poe all the way when I stuck it all the way out. I was shocked,
Actually,
but that's
I think I'm a large, but I'm not sure.
that's the level of adjustability in them, which is really nice because if you
Yeah, there's a
if you have
lot.
if you have a smaller dog and you buy the harness for that dog, then your next dog's a little bigger. Unless you change from, you know, size range, like from a tiny dog to a giant dog, you
We're not-
don't necessarily have to buy a new harness the next time.
Is that a bow? Is that the everyday work harness or is it the balance?
Yep. That's the
everyday.
everyday work.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I love that harness.
I do too. I've used it years now. I think it come out in 17 or so or 18, but we had it probably 6 months before, and I am in love with that harness.
And the the neck, the magnetic clips, I just figured that I'm probably not going to, unless I buy a different, unless the next dog's a different size dog, I'm probably not going to need to buy a new harness because leather lasts so long.
It does,
So-
and I'm not going to need one either when Jaser gets ready. Unless they come out with the new model and I can't resist it.
Ashlyn says, I do have Lily labeled as a service dog with her collar. Let me see if it says anything else. So I've had a couple, look, recently in town, I've had a couple places where people actually kind of grabbed at my dog. One of them was at Walmart trying to see the labels on my dog to see if they're really a service dog. So, and I realized that Nick has cords and the vest is probably going to, vest cause all kinds of problems for him as a poodle. But that's why I think with him, a poodle collar is a better option.
Oh, I do label Izzy when I bring her out, but hers is all embroidered on to her vest.
Yeah, that's
Except
nice.
for the
to do that.
patches. I did have to add that bad patch because people, they read that one and they look at it and they're like, oh, I can't touch her.
I'm going to see if I can get a couple made with my business logo.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to show y'all what Jaser's doing. Can y'all see Jaser?
Are you sure he's not posing for a centerfold?
He thinks he's a centerfold. He was worse a while ago when Penny was talking. It was like,
I'm
she's
pretty
freaked
sure
out.
Azul looks much the same. Like he's already in bed with my husband.
Well,
Penny,
Nick
if you
usually
would get
does-
trainer,
Nick does that in the morning. I
That.
wake up and he's got 4 feet in the air. And what's funny is I leave the crate door open and that's where he's sleeping. Yeah, last night, I'm not sure what happened, but he closed. I don't think he was feeling well last night and the crate door somehow got closed, which is not supposed to be. And he couldn't open the crate door and he usually just takes his paw and gets it with his claws and just pulls it open, and he does this all the time, but he didn't think to do that. He just was not feeling well. So I think it's just post-op stuff. But
I've been told I have a calming effect on dogs. It's because I've worked for years and years to perfect that. But like in the Facebook message chat group, somebody was mentioning huskies, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, and maybe Sarah, and not having an off switch. Like, well, Azul has an amazing off switch, but I've been developing it since he was 8 weeks old. So it does take time. But then he's also got another husky friend, Maverick, and Maverick is like, he's the 0 to 100 puppy instantly. And, and he's about 18 months old now, but nobody else can get him to have an off switch without thoroughly exhausting him except for me. Because how do I get him to calm down when we're out and about? I take his leash, I talk to him calmly, and we walk very slowly and calmly. And I just keep talking to him. And within 2 minutes, he's like, oh, all right, chill time. We're just relaxed. So perfected that a long time ago, working with kindergarten students in schools and then working with dogs. So I put all dogs to sleep.
But that's an important skill to have, especially if you have a service dog, because sometimes you have to do a little bit of amping up if you're trying to distract them and then get their attention, and then you can start soothing them. I found with Nick, at least.
Oh no, I teach clients how to do that one all the time. To get their dog, you got to know the difference between amping them up a little bit where you can bring them back down versus amping them up too much where you're never going to get them back down.
And I think that it depends on the dog too, because I can amp Jazer up real bad and play these real rowdy games, and then I can turn him off quickly. But there are some dogs like I've had that you get them amped up and it takes them so long to come back down. He is just so laid out, as you can
Well,
see.
and you have to develop that with, starting slow and only amping them up
Yes.
a little, bringing them back down. And the more you do it, the higher you can get them amped up. I can
probably-
get it pretty amped up and then back down real fast. But
I think it
there's a little
helps
ways to
having
go.
younger dogs that Rainey took care of that. She'd let him amp up and then tell him to calm down. And I think she has really helped me with him being as calm as he is now.
Well, she
Right.
had a good teacher.
Pardon me?
Rainey had a good teacher.
Oh, she did. She did, but she had Shy.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, he was a
Mhm.
perfect temperament dog, and she was horrible. And he took the brunt of it, but he raised her right. And then
Yep.
Rainey did it for me with Jazer, and that makes all the difference. But if you got a dog that's not good, it can work against you.
Poe
I've
was-
got kind of the both because Cam has actually taught Azul quite a bit, but Cam struggles with calm because of the rescue and all his anxiety. Like he's perfectly chill right now, but when I first got home, he was a total basket case because I left him home with Dad for 4 days. So, overexcited to see me and everything, and that lasted for about an hour and a half. And so he'll amp Azul up, and Azul has a hard time turning it down when Cam's right there and is not turning his down. And Cam couldn't, he didn't have it in him. So, but other than that, Cam has taught him a lot of things. And that's one of the reasons I worked with Azul so young on calm, was because I knew eventually he had to be able to be calm even when Cam couldn't.
Yeah,
And he can handle it when Cam's a little excited, but not when Cam's overly excited because I've been gone for 4 days.
Hey, I got a phone call from my sister in Missouri, and I'm gonna have to go, but I enjoyed talking to y'all tonight.
oh, well, thank you for coming, Patty.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good night.
Yeah, this is going
It's
on
Sorry.
what, almost
just
2
gonna-
hours. So
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
almost midnight here, and I've got to drive to the middle of nowhere to pick up a pregnant dog tomorrow.
Yeah, well, why don't we wrap it up and we'll all say goodnight. And we have next week coming up. One of the issues is that we run into, I think, almost every week is we all love talking about dogs. Just a little bit. So we tend to run over. So
but since we're
I
having
have
more
no
and
idea
more
what you're talking about.
join, we'll find ways to keep it shorter.
yeah,
Or maybe
and
we'll have the discussion and then stop and have the after discussion.
and that's why we had one question tonight, which was what equipment, what tools do you use with your puppies and your young dogs?
Well, so many of
I-
us use multiple tools for different purposes, so that's going to
Yeah.
make it take longer.
I forgot
Yeah.
to show my other one. I
Oh, is
forgot
that,
the other one.
that's a nice one.
Yeah, I showed it to you before, Cynthia. I
Yeah,
think I can show it another time, probably.
we'll
I
have,
like it. I'd
we'll
like to
have,
see it.
we'll have more show and tell, but you can describe, you can show us, whoever wants to stick around.
Well, I probably won't be around too because I need to go eat and the dogs.
Well, why
won't.
don't you show us and then you can go.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's
this
what I'm trying to say. I think
Oh.
we want to see it, and anybody who wants to leave is more than welcome
Yeah.
to.
this one is more of a soft one, but it was a custom made for Hodor, but I don't have him wear it yet. And then it fits him very nicely. And then it's a buckle, it's a wide front. This can detach, these can detach here. And then it doesn't, I won't be having it stay straight up, of course. And then these come off like this and can either be a handle or not be a handle. You can have them on or off, and it can be like there.
Well, that's nice. Kind of like a guide harness
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a momentum pull harness.
Help me pull when I'm weaker.
Hmm.
Help me pull when I'm weaker and stuff. Especially up like
On a hill.
my driveway is very, very steep, and it's so hard for me to walk up it. But you can even take these off and just have it on like that even too.
Mhm.
You know, but I would still have his other leash on underneath it. You know, the what do you call it? The other harness? I'm sorry.
The balance harness? Wasn't it
Now-
the balance harness?
The balance harness. I just felt more comfortable with that. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I use the opposite, not the balance, but the pet safe one that's very, very similar. And that, I
Oh.
mean, that's really my favorite. That's what I recommend to people. I just like to change things out. So when I found some $5 harnesses, I had to try them.
You never
It-
know when those turn out to be the best harness you've ever had.
And I mean,
It-
they're not awesome. They're probably not perfect, but they work well for Azul because of his current body shape and size. And
Right. And if he trashes it in the lake or something, it's not the end of the world. It's $5.
right. And he does a lot of swimming and running through fields. And yeah, so he wore his exercise one while we were out of town. We were at my mom's a lot, and they had so much rain that there was water standing in the grass. And of course, it was all new dogs and cats everywhere. So he just wants to lay down. And so, I mean, I was glad he had that cheap $5 harness on that I didn't have to worry about. And I could let him lay down in his puddle of water that was in the grass so that he could watch the new neighborhood cat he had never met. So there's a point to cheap ones and a point to expensive ones. You just got to match the right tool with the right job.
Exactly.
I do have another harness I use for him too, for his fitness training for when he's on the ball, the peanut ball,
Mhm.
you or yeah, and it's one I got off of Chewy, but it had very good reviews too. And it goes over like this, but it clasps, and it's a front and a back hook, but it has a little handle on it. And
Oh,
then I can,
those are nice. It's nice to have a handle that, like, so you can hold him while he's on the peanut.
Yes, yeah.
That's nice.
I mean, it
I'll
wouldn't,
stick
but-
Azul's leash through that handle too, just to keep the leash up off the ground more.
Mhm.
John, I have a question for you. Since you and I have the same harness, does yours slip off to one side if you're holding the handle?
I don't use a handle, but yes,
don't
it does tend to torque around to the left quite a bit.
Okay. Mine does that too, and I was wondering if it was me or if it was, the back doesn't necessarily sit flat, but he's got cords, so it's really hard to make it sit flat without strangling his belly, his rib cage.
Yeah, and I don't like to keep it that tight.
I don't either. It's got to be at least 2 fingers.
That's right, all the way around.
Yep, it's like cinching a horse, but not quite.
Yeah, then
Right.
you put your whole hand underneath the girt.
Yeah. And then you walk the horse around so they let their breath out.
I've known that too. I've known that to do that before.
I could so see Azul holding his breath to make the harness looser.
You know, the other harness that I've found that's really nice for a play harness, but I don't use very often with Nick anymore because of his ears. You know, Nick's problem with his ears is he's got cords on his ears. So makes it there's like 3 times the size of what they normally would. And there's mass to it because of the cords. It's not just like poodle fluff. It's like, you know, each cord is firm. And so it's difficult to put over the head harnesses on him and have them fit his shoulders. And that, which is why I got the clips on the harness, the everyday working harness. But the other harness that I really like, but it doesn't have a shoulder clip, is the rough wear front range.
Yep,
that-
I've seen that.
It's a really nice harness. It's built really well. It's about $40, which is kind of where the pricing rate runs. But if a dog that doesn't have a huge head that you can put the collar, the head, the harness over, it's a good option.
Izzy uses
Yeah, that's
the
what
front range.
Yeah, and they're
My po-
comfortable. They don't chase with it.
My
Oh, yeah.
pocket vests are both built on front range harnesses.
Yeah. But everything I've purchased from Roughwear has just been awesome.
Yeah. And I that's the boots I use too for Hodar, for his dog boots, his
Yeah.
dog boot.
Well, I like the fact that they're selling front and back. They're selling they're selling them in pairs now and not in sets of 4, because Nick has 2 different size. His front feet
Yeah.
are different size than his rear feet.
That's
A lot of dogs do.
I think
most,
that's fairly common.
Yeah, that's why they started doing that.
yeah, that's
Polo wasn't an issue. And then most of last summer, Nick wore Poe's shoes. And then I decided, well, I better just get him shoes that fit right.
I mean, it's
get
kind of a good
Court
thing.
used to 'em.
Sorry.
I was saying I need to get Court used to them because it gets hot here.
Yeah.
Since our altitude.
You're in Arizona also?
Yeah, I'm just about 10 miles south of Rio.
Okay. I'm in California, but I'm in the Central Valley, so we get really hot. And Chrissy's on the high desert outside of Victorville.
yeah,
It
Hesperia.
gets really hot. So,
I'm the
Yeah,
opposite.
the direct sun is what gets hot here.
yeah.
It might only be
That-
48, 50 degrees, and you can work up a sweat if you're out in the sun.
Well, it gets hot here because we're trapped in a valley between the Sierras and the coastal range. And it's a huge valley, but everything from the bay flows down and it gets stuck, and then it just gets heated up with the sun shining down.
Yep.
Hey, quiet. Shh. Nice.
So
Dog training.
somebody is extremely hungry and was bad and jumped up on the bed
Luna, you're not supposed to jump.
on a high bed.
She says it's dinner time, and it's almost
No,
11
we
o'clock
got-
my time, so.
Last
So
year.
maybe we better wrap this up, because some people have been driving all day and they're really tired. And I know 1, 2, 3, 4 of
And-
us, 5 are on the
Christopher,
West Coast.
I'm very tired. I've had yeah.
And you're Maine, Lulu.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast.
So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, no,
Okay.
it's like midnight here. I just never sleep, so it's all good.
Still young enough to do that. Wish I was. But
I
all
hope
right,
you have
let's
the day off tomorrow, Pam.
Yeah, I gotta go because I still gotta call my mom and eat and feed the dogs.
Okay.
pick for next week. It'll be another maybe.
Yeah, it'll be another maybe. So see you guys later. Have a good week.
Okay.
Feel free to contact us anytime you want. And if you want to add somebody, just let us know. We'll add them to chat and the group. And just to keep the discussions going so that we can have, it helps all of us learn more about quiet. Nice. Sorry, dog training. So that we can have this going and we can learn and grow our skills, because without interacting with others, we're not going to, we stagnate. We need to
And
interact
we'll
with
find
others,
a
and
way
see
to
what they're
keep,
doing.
short to an hour for the main discussion and then have an after discussion for the people that want to stick around.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Well, we only went through one round because we had like 12, 13 people here at one
Yeah.
point.
Which is great. I mean, typically we only have like 5 or 6, so it's
If
great.
that.
And we'll work to get it cut down so it doesn't go 2 hours for everybody that doesn't want it.
Yeah. We'll come up with some solutions, but we want everybody to participate and learn, and we want to learn because Donna had some really good suggestions. There's, we all learn and grow. That's what our dogs are teaching. Our dogs are our teachers as far as dog training, and each new dog we learn more from. So, and our trainer friends help us learn. They help us
Right.
problem solve.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
All right.
All
Good
right,
night,
good night.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks for hosting.
Bye.